Hey everybody, here's a quick update for you. I wanted to give you a radar update here at 11 o'clock or just approaching 11 o'clock. We've got a lot of activity developing right where we have the flash flood watch in effect for the mountainous areas here, southwest Virginia going into southeast West Virginia. And to zoom in out a little bit more, there are some storms now popping up around the Lynchburg area, seeing a lot of lightning from Franklin County as I look east tonight from the TV station. There are another number of players tonight that are very interesting. There's another one up here across the Culpeper area from Harrisonburg into northern Virginia here around Fredericksburg. This is where we have numerous flash flood warnings in effect. This was from a separate group of thunderstorms that moved across this area today, and now we've got an existing boundary that's sitting here. Some of the most recent models indicate that we could have training thunderstorms tonight from Orange north into Harrisonburg and Culpeper near La Plata and going into Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania, Stafford, that area. So watch out in northern Virginia tonight. Also noticing an increase in coverage here around the greater Lynchburg area. Some very heavy rain over Forest. And again, the air mass that's in place is one of tropical nature. We've got a tremendous amount of moisture in the air, and that's going to allow for some very efficient rainfall producing storms. So what may normally only give you about 1/10 of an inch of rain could give you 1/2 inch of rain in a very short amount of time. I've noticed that this is the second cell that's moved over the same area of Lynchburg. So there will probably be some isolated flooding concerns overnight tonight, even outside of the flash flood watch area. The watch area just is where we could see the widespread activity in terms of flooding. Also still concerned about wind shear and the potential for some rotation, although right now it's mainly heavy thunderstorm activity and some straight line wind damage earlier in Washington County. So from Lebanon down into Abington, we've got yet more storminess occurring, a very strong storm north of Richlands. And you may remember in my previous update, it was also storming there heavier several hours ago. So these are thunderstorms that are new storms developing over the same areas that have seen all the rain. We've got an existing flood advisory out for this area because of that. Smith County around Marion here in Saltville, Sugar Grove, we've got a storm, a couple of cells here, and it's just moderate rain across Tazewell, Bland, and Wytheville, and Pulaski and Radford are north of that area right now. Just a lone shower in Franklin County as well. So I do expect that, the rest of tonight is going to be on and off again in terms of activity. Let me pull up the bigger picture for you here. The remnant circulation with Laura is still well off to the west. Again, this is a diffuse area now that we're seeing this tropical moisture that's already in place. Everywhere you see the whites and the blues, that's very moist air. Bottled water vapor in the air, and now we've got this, basically it's a strong short wave. It's got the tropical air ahead of it because this was a tropical system. It's transitioned into more of a strong cold front type feature, and in fact the cold front's back up to the north and west, but this is moving through again as we speak. So as I let it load up here, the rest of tonight will probably feature more of these storms. I'm concerned about West Virginia for flooding. I'm concerned about Southwest Virginia. But in addition to that, we also do still have some wind shear that's in place. I'm going around some of the radars. This is a view of the storms over Southwest Virginia right now. But I've also got, let's see, this is the Morristown radar. You can get kind of a different vantage point of those storms in Southwest Virginia. Also, you can see some of that activity that doesn't look too as strong right now into Tennessee, but still watching those storms for you. And I think I've got GSP up here. That's Greenville, Spartanburg. You can see their activity there along the mountainous areas as well. Watching the stuff around Hickory that may be moving north throughout the rest of tonight into northwest North Carolina. So watching those areas as well. I want to show you here what we're doing instability wise and some of the bigger ingredients that are in place. Again, this is the bigger picture. You can see the live lightning on your screen. So it's going to be a busy night. Put the last 2 hours in motion here. I'm going to put the cape back on so I can show you where all the instability still is, and it's everywhere. There's still fair amounts of instability for this late hour because of that tropical nature. If you look at dew points, this will kind of show you what's going on. Let's see, we take that off, go to dew points, turn them on. And you've got dew point readings across Roanoke down to Danville at 73 to 75. It's very humid air, sitting at 74 73 here at the TV station. We were up to 76 earlier. But these are, very high dew points, and they actually are still high even out behind this tropical system. They don't go low until you get out behind this cold front that's coming in for Sunday. So it's going to remain fairly buoyant, I think, tonight in terms of getting these storms to fire up on their own. We've got increasing lift, increasing wind shear over the area right now. The Weather Prediction Center put out a special discussion. This is a geeky technical discussion. Basically, it was highlighting the boundary I was just telling you about, plus this short wave, which is denoted there by the word short wave there, and the red swirl, that's the anticipated approach. That may be the current short wave that's over us, and we got another one coming in tomorrow with Laura. And then we've got diffluence aloft that's all kind of aiding, coming together to give us this instability that we've got over the area tonight. There is wind shear. I've been looking at the winds at different levels here, from 10 meters in red to 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet. There in the blue, you can see them crossed over one another, and you can see the directional shear there. I want to show you here the wind shear. Let's go to wind shear. And you can see those higher values of 40 knots of wind shear to 45 knots of wind shear starting to advect into the area, move into the area. And as we go through the rest of tonight, again, this is looking at midnight. Then we go from midnight to 2 a.m. By 2 o'clock in the morning, fairly interesting that we have 40 to 45 knots of wind shear over the Roanoke Valley, over the NRV, and over Southside. And that continues into the morning hours of tomorrow. So the models are coming in a little faster, and what's left of Laura is going to be coming through a bit faster. I think by noon it's out of here. But the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning, there is plenty of turning for these cells to maybe tap into if they can overcome the slight stable air where we've already seen the rain. But there will be enough swirl in the atmosphere to still warrant the possibility of a tornado or two into the morning hours of tomorrow, primarily along and east of the Blue Ridge, but I can't leave the mountains out either. And we've also got the possibility of more heavy storms moving in. There's some very strong moisture, a lot of moisture and moisture feed coming into this area, and that happens to be right where those heavy storms are developing there. So sometimes the advection of moisture, the movement of moisture can get those things going. The other thing that's happening here is we've got a very strong low-level jet. You can see that. Let me get rid of the radar for you. These are the higher winds at about 5,000 feet that are just now starting to come in ahead of Laura. And that's the thing I was mentioning earlier this evening. It's not like you have a compact storm and like it's a hurricane and all the winds are right around the center. The center's now, kind of washed out and over Kentucky, but the highest winds are now south of the center and east of the center, and well to the east of the center, in fact, because it's weakened and the wind field is weakened. But where it's weakened, it's also spread the wind out over a bigger area at 5,000 feet. So if you go through the night tonight, you can see those higher winds at 850 millibars at 5,000 feet start to move into our area as well. And the movement of those higher winds coming in will also probably fuel some heavier storms as well. Some of those could train over the same areas too. So yeah, both flash flooding in spots, not for everybody, and maybe severe storms in spots, and tornadoes are very isolated occurrences, but I think all of the area needs to be wary, except for maybe the highlands. Although you do have that boundary up there to your north, so watching that boundary too across northern Virginia. Anyway, that's your update for right now. I just wanted to show you that the mountainous areas are seeing some very heavy thunderstorm activity. Just got a special weather statement out for southern Smith County, western Wythe County here for this cell. There's another cell north of Marion, and again, war in West Virginia, north of Richlands and Tazewell. Some heavy storms. Heavy storms continue here near the Beckley, Bluefield area in the Oak Hill, West Virginia, and there's more to come, folks. So just prepare for a fairly busy night. Don't be surprised if you are, hopefully you've got your alerts turned on your cell phone. If there is a warning that comes out, warnings will also auto-post on my Twitter and Facebook pages as well. And I'll jump on here if I need to let you know of anything going on in greater detail. Still raining in Lynchburg. Let's go into the city real quick before I sign off for the night. This software here allows me to pull up the roads. Route 130, 501 here near Brandywine, Monroe in the Amherst County, Forest Brook Hills in Lynchburg, Boonesboro, getting the heavier rainfall that's near Route 685, Rusens, Lavino Village, River Road, Elon Road, seeing that heavier storm there around Winesap as well. And that's Business 29. It's nearing there as you go north of Lynchburg. Looks like it tapers off right in the midtown there. But again, you can see additional cells later on tonight. Certainly, I know in Lynchburg, you're probably seeing that lightning there as well. So scattered storms will be the rule. Some of those will be strong. Some of those could produce some flooding concerns as we go into the morning hours of Saturday. The worst probably coming in between, I'd say for everybody, between 2 a.m. and let's say 10 a.m. Those are going to be the most active hours for us, I believe. But we're seeing plenty of action right now in the mountains.